This diary is not for your reading. On the 13th day of September. Today I am being given school tour from Headmistress Headless. It was she who convinced my parents to allow for my entrance to Monster High. She has been family friend for many years, and I have been knowing her since I was a Yetling. Her heart is large with courage and honor, but I think many students here do not know that. I am also with her staying during the week, so I must not have to trek back up mountain day by every day. On the 17th day of September, I have spent much time learning the monster language of what we on the mountain call the down below. It seems to take many words to say what is needed. Best for me is the reading and writing in different language is easier than the speaking of the language because I am having the hard time finding right expressions to use when I talk to other monsters at school. It seems better to be quiet than express strongly, for that brings the laughter. On the 24th day of September, I am wanting to do something today for which there is no word in Yetish. The closest we have means run to shelter when the hard wind blows. I think the down below word is quit. I am embarrassed to write this desire because I am not running from any wind, hard or not. I feel like everything I touch brings down the avalanche of hurtful feelings. Today, I am telling Draculora that her makeup was piled up on one side of her face like the drifted snow. I only meant to save her from embarrassment. I did not know that the putting on of makeup was for her a task of great strain and anxiousness. I tried to express the apology, but that was said wrongly too. I am wishing to make the thoughts in my heart and the words from my mouth the same, and for the friend who will be patient until that is happening. On the 28th day of September. Today I met Laguna, who I am finding not the kind easily insulted, even after I am asking her if she was Fish Girl. She had the look of shock at first when I asked, then the laughing. Then the embarrassment came and I tried to walk away, but she wouldn't let me. Laguna told me of her difficulties when at Monster High she first started. How she was not understanding land monster culture and how even though speaking the same language, the same words, sometimes meant something different. She even given the detention for using the expression that was being perfectly acceptable down under, but at Monster High was a terrible insult. She said her accent was also hard for some monsters to understand. I said that her accent was being very understandable, and she said,
"It wasn't when I first got here. I had to work very hard so that I could be understood."
Laguna told me that the work was worth the friends she made, because they were being ones she would have for life. I asked her also if she ever wanted to quit, and she said,
"Only just about every day until I made my first mate here."
Maybe I shall stop wanting to quit now too. On the first day of October. Hairless Headmistress has extra spot in her barn for keeping my woolly mammoth, Shiva. It is very kind of her to allow my pet from home. Each night I come from school and clean the stables. I like this. It helps in the clearing of the head from thoughts of the day. I sing to Shiva in Yetish, brush her woolly coat and feed her the hay she likes most. I am also feeding Headless Headmistress's nightmare the stuff of dreams. Sometimes Headmistress comes out and we work on language lessons. It makes me feel not so homesick. On the 7th day of October. There was much distress at school today. Many tears were running and every monster was talking about Claude and Cleo. I am not knowing them best, but I am not thinking the truth was being told. At home, we say a rumor is the swirling wind that hides the right path. And on mountain, wrong paths lead to bad places. Sometimes it is best to wait for the wind to stop before moving ahead, even if it is a path that seems familiar. It makes my heart sad to see monsters do this. On the 12th day of October. Today we all receive assignment to write about our monster heritage. My monster heritage is easiest for me to tell because it is the first thing we are being taught as Yetlings. In Great Cave of Meeting, every Yeti has life painting that tells of their deeds. I can draw from memory all of my relatives who have come before myself on the side of my mother and father. My own painting will now have my journey to the down below and Monster High. Artists have great status amongst the Yetish, and they are much treated like the rock stars are here. I am not being such a star, but I am asking Headmistress if I might tell my story in the same way as it is done on Mountain. She said she thinks it is a good idea, so that is what I will do. On the 15th day of October. My people are being very strong, but I not like the calling of attention to myself with the showing off. Today, I did. The place of my locker is next to Haleen of the Wolf Clan, and when I went to locker at end of day, Manny Tar was holding the backpack of Haleen. She wanted its swift return, but he only laughed. It was not the laugh of friendly tease, but of the taunting. What are you gonna do if I don't? Tell your brother? She did not ask for the help, but I was believing she wanted it, so I told him to give back to her the backpack. He began to mock me with the imitation of my accent. Why for don't you make me? I had in my locker horseshoe from Headmistress's nightmare for tail and show. I pulled out horseshoe, straightened it, then tied it in knot. I am thinking he believed it not to be real until it clanged when I dropped it. He returned backpack without a word. I am now being invited to Wolf Clan cookout by Haleen. I am looking forward for that. On the 21st day of October, there is very annoying but scary cute classmate who I am told wants from me a date. I am giving him currently the cold shoulder. He is called Heath Burns, and he is the sort of monster who catches fire like a torch. Also, he is not the kind easily offended. Why is it the annoying ones never are? He uses many strange phrases that I am not understanding. I have remembered some to write down and ask Laguna for explanation. Hey Frosty, did it get steamy in here, or is it just you and me? Want me to melt your heart? I get a brain freeze just looking at you. I bet your bark is worse than your frostbite? I am not understanding phrases, but delivery is same tone as boys in Mountain who want the attention. Until a properly asked for date, I am continuing the ignoring of him. This is same on Mountain as down below. I think I am learning and perhaps starting to have some fun. On the 24th day of October. Mostly, I am bringing my lunch with the food I have the familiarity with, but today I went to Crepitaria. I was mostly nervous, so I am watching other monsters first and then copying them. I got in line and shuffled forward like others in front and behind, and all was fine until the choosing of the food. Much was unrecognizable to me, and many choices ended with word surprise. I am not fan of the food surprise. I asked Monster Lady with netted hair if surprise was kind causing Monster to laugh or to cry. She says, depends on Monster. I could hear much grumbling and lying because shuffling forward was stuck. Then a kind voice says,
Try to screech, sir. It's the safest choice.
It is put together girl Frankie Stein. We ate at the same table together and had many laughs. She is going to help me with the slang, and I am teaching her to learn to board the snow. I am being the best teacher on Mountain, and she is not making fun of my language mistakes. I think now that it is good I did not run to shelter when the strong winds were blowing.